Hi everyone, this is daveac.blip.tv and this is my vblog 112 for Friday the 10th of September 2010. Full of grace, genius, Gaius and Doctor Who goodness, I hope. And wine at the end, and all in under 15 minutes. Well, let's start as usual with Louis Trapani of Doctor Who Podshock fame. The episode that's gone out is not a Podshock episode, it's Hitchhiker's Guide to British Sci-Fi. And I can mention it with a little bit of pride because I join him on that episode. So that is now at the Gallifreyan Embassy, podshock.net, or of course on iTunes, where I hope you will also subscribe to the Cultum Collective podcast. Well, we've been rather busy. The Sunday that's just gone, we did about Sci-Fi Down Under. That's all the great TV and movies that have been made and come out of Australia and New Zealand. And of course, Ian the Sixth Doctor comes from New Zealand. Everything from Mad Max to Lord of the Rings, and a surprisingly large number of children or family science fiction shows from both those countries. We've also put out another one of our commentary episodes. This is from our Series 2 of Doctor Who. That's David Tennant's first series, and the episode that's gone out on the feeds this time is School Reunion, the return to the Doctor Who world of Sarah Jane Smith. Yes, I know she has her own series, and that again will be starting in October, but this, when it came out in 2006, was her return to New Who, and a brilliant episode it was. Hopefully you'll have a listen to that. You play your copy of School Reunion with the sound sort of partly down, so you can both hear it and hear our commentary. And that's, of course, myself, David C., Ian the Sixth Doctor, and Mike Randall-Thorpe. So hope you give that a listen. Now, this coming Sunday, at our usual time of 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, on Talk Show ID 54821, we're talking about great comedy figures. Now, I use the word figures because it's not just people, it's characters as well. And here's a little list I've already got together. See if yours is on there. Lenny Bruce, Eddie Izzard, Meg Buttons, Eddie Murphy, Mr. Bean, The Big Yin, Homer Simpson, Abbott Costello, George Burns, Phil Silvers, Laurel and Hardy, Jimmy Durante, Groucho Marx, W.C. Fields, Richard Pryor, Chris Rock, Robin Williams, Ellen DeGeneres, Joan Rivers, Phyllis Diller, Jim Carrey, and Bob Hope. Well, that's what we'll be talking about, and any others that people think are justified to be on that list. And if you can't join us live, again, catch us from iTunes. Well, it's a busy weekend coming up in sort of Doctor Who related news. Tonight, if you get to see this in time on the Friday the 10th of September, the BBC Three are showing a slightly longer version of the Doctor Who Proms highlights. They showed an hour version early in the week. This time they're showing a 1.5 hour on BBC Three. And just carrying on with the Proms theme, on Saturday, that's the 11th of September, the last night of the Proms will be airing. Now, there's an experiment going alongside that. The BBC Three Radio are doing a XHQ high quality feed out on the internet that you can listen to. Instead of being at 192k, it's at 320k. And I've listened to a couple of other things. They've got an actual loop that you can listen to on their one of their pages. And let me just give the address of that very quickly. It's www.bbc.co.uk/proms/2010/audio experiment. All one word, all small case. Now, I'm going to play a little bit now, but obviously you're going to hear it through my speakers and through my webcam. So I'm going to play it just a very brief snatch, wherever it's up to on the loop at the moment. I'm not sure if that volume's loud enough. I'm not going to play it long. Because of course you can't hear that quality, and in actual fact, even on my computer speakers, I can't really hear the quality difference. But what I did do is I listened to it on my £60-odd, $100 Sennheiser headphone set, and you can tell the difference on something like that. So that, of course, is not region locked, and with the last night of the proms coming, that's your last chance to catch that experiment. And I'll show you a little bit more of the page when I go over to my other PC with the camera. There's unfortunately one slight problem. The last night of the prom overlaps with a science fiction start. It's series 3 of Merlin. Yes, on the 11th of September at 7:25 on BBC One, Merlin returns to UK TV screens. So that is, of course, his mentor Gaius. That was the Gaius in the centre, so in the title. So, excuse me, looking forward to that. And before I move on to my other news, just speaking about the music from the proms and those headphones reminds me that I've got a tech item I want to quickly mention at this point. When I did my last tech, it was about the netbook that my son had passed on to me. Well, I can't remember, but I also at the same time got these, a compact set of headphones which are ideal on the move, so that if you're on a train or whatever, you don't disturb the other people. But of course, because it's for a mobile device, it folds. You connect the hinges back up. The actual audio for the mic goes through this plastic YouTube thing. Not YouTube, this audio tube. I'll put that in quickly. Come on, David. Time is amazing. Don't fit over the top of your head. They fit behind your head like this. So they are really neat and very useful. Compact folding headphones. Brilliant. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's move on. And we'll keep with the music theme for now, because it's about time I did another one of my classical CDs. And this is a moderately priced CD by Nexus. I got it even cheaper because I got it from a a charity shop. Copeland, an American person who has written, or should I say composed, Rodeo, Billy the Kid, Appalachian Spring, Fanfare for the Common Man. And I got it on track 7, and it's about 8 minutes into Appalachian Spring. So let's see how that sounds. Well, that volume's coming across. And I'm going to stop it there because of I'm not sure the volume was high enough there, and also we're on this 15-minute time limit. Okay, well, talking of the tech and music, there's been a lot of tech information gone out on the feeds this last week. Of course, it's been the IFA Electronics Fair, so there's been an awful lot of announcements. Some announcements are to do for everybody. For instance, like here in the UK, the BBC iPlayer, has had its update. It's gone from beta into the mainstream. iTunes, that's now the Apple iTunes 10 is now downloadable for an update. Apple, the iPhone OS 4 has had a small update to 4.1. The Sony PlayStation 3 has had an update to version 3.4.2, although a lot of the cynics say it's not so much an update as a fix to stop people using non-Sony games, something called jailbreaking that people were doing, and that fix is to address that possibly. But nonetheless, it's an update. And of course, if you go to places like Engadget and Gizmodo, you'll see that there's been lots of announcements about new tablet PCs, new phones, the ARM Eagle board, and the new Philips 21 by 9 HD TV that's 3D capable. Lots and lots of tech news just out on the feeds. Too much for me to cover here. Okay, what I'm going to do now is just to show you some of the other links that I've got here, and hopefully have at least a minute for my wine. So here I am trying to get this hold it steady. This is the BBC page. I've already read the link out, and it's not focusing for me. There you are. And it's playing a loop, but that finishes on Saturday. So just that warning. Also last Sunday was the Hooverville 2, which unfortunately I couldn't get to, or James in fact, but there was a podcasting panel. Mr. Chin was one of the people there. This is his Twitter feed, and also I've got a link here to his blog page, which is www.smallbeer.info. Go on, focus for me. There we are. And that's Craig, of course, and he's got a couple of pictures here. I'm not going to show it all because I want you to go to the site, but I want to show you this picture here of the companions waiting to board the train, the convention, and two there on name. It's Sophie Aldred in the red and Deborah Watling in the blue. So go and have a look at Mr. Chin's page. Now, two of the pages I've got to talk to you, I'll show you here. And the wine I'm going to do, and the grace of the title, is called Grace Falls. Well, that reminded me, I went on to another podcast by Kerry Partin called GC Community Chat. That's Garden City Community Chat. That's TalkShoe ID 82757. Well, it was his birthday this last week, so happy birthday, Kerry. And his wife and he had gone on holiday, and they went to visit Gracelands. And when I found out that my wine was called Grace Falls, the coincidence seemed too great to not mention his podcast. So there you are, Kerry. And one last bit, if you don't want to be slightly spoiled, I'm just going to mention the science fiction series on the BBC called Outcast, which is still being made. There's some pictures. So for the next 10 seconds, look away. And this is on the liveforfilms.com website. It's taking up too much time, this focusing. Liveforfilms.com. And here are a couple of pictures of the new BBC series called Outcast. Okay, I'm going to put the camera back because I've only got now about a minute and a half to tell you about that very wine. And here it is. It's a moderately priced wine, Grace Falls, 2008, Shiraz from California. Now let's got time to show you the back. Please focus quicker than that. There we are. A full-bodied wine with deep ruby colour, delicious aromas of dark berry fruits and cassis follow on the palate with a touch of peppery spice on the finish. Well, here it is. And a lovely colour it is too, and I've just got barely a minute to taste it. And there is that definite Shiraz sort of earthiness and fruit coming through. Quite a lot of pepper, lots of fruit, and quite a long finish for a modest price wine. We're talking only €6, $8 here. That is actually very pleasant. It's only 13%, but it's got a lot of flavour packed in there. I think that deserves another little look. Grace Falls, Shiraz, California. And with that, of course, my 15 minutes is up. So, that's Dave AC on blip.tv saying catch you next week. Bye all.